Level 67. Survival difficulty, Class 2. Unsafe, secure, low entity count. Level 67 is the 68th level of the Backrooms. It was found when a wanderer followed the smell of baked bread in level 11 and managed to end up in this level. Description: Level 67 takes the form of a bakery from the 1980s. Unlike most levels which are commonly infinite, this level is the size of the average bakery at around 2,300 square feet. The interior will change color according to an explorer's favorite color, as well as produce items within the bakery that will appeal to one's interests, i.e. favored plants, any item that will play one's favorite music, and an aroma diffuser which will disperse pleasing scents into the air, etc. The waiting line. The waiting line is, as said in its name, the area in which customers will wait their turn to order. Although few who enter the waiting line are also wanderers, facelings with the level 11 effect frequently make up the rest of the waiting line. There are a few occasions in which the number of entities within the waiting line is short, however, the amount of time it takes to advance to the front is very lengthy. At this moment, one will feel the need to cut, push, or complain to whoever is in front of them. The counter. The counter is met once one has made their way to the front of the waiting line. Here, a faceless bakery clerk will go on to take your order. A wanderer may walk alongside the strip of baked goods near the counter and point out anything they wish to take, which the clerk will retrieve. Know that the clerk will almost always recommend one takes a pastry that conveniently is a favorite to them. If you can, avoid taking one. Failure to make haste, however, will cause the other facelings behind them to become aggravated, which may lead to violence. This can easily be avoided if one was to prepare and choose what is desired before going to the line. Note that occasionally, the effect of the desire to indulge on those favorites may lead to fellow wanderers in the level to act erratically and make attempts to simply retrieve those pastries without waiting. It is best not to interfere, they will promptly be disposed of subsequent to the event. Once the explorer has made their choice, they are to join the clerk back to the register to pay. While this is not constant, usually paying with a bottle of almond water is more than enough for whatever you bought. At this point, one may choose to leave the level or head to the eating area. Just as one expects it to be, the eating area is where a wanderer goes after ordering. Note that it may only be accessed once you have gotten something from the counter. Facelings may also enter here, but will not harm an explorer lest they provoke them themselves. Otherwise, this area is considered perfectly safe to venture, and large enough for small outposts to form. However, despite such safety, there is one thing that could lead to harm: the pastries. Similar to that of level 226, each pastry in Αρτοποιείο desire has a certain effect upon the one who consumes it. However, unlike said level, the effects will vary upon each wanderer and one must be cautious if they had the misfortune of not leaving before getting in line. It is highly recommended to be educated on such effects. Favorite pastries are deemed most desirable by a wanderer will be the most deadly desserts. When closer than a foot away from the pastry, a nearly irresistible urge to consume the dessert will come over an explorer. Be wary, it is crucial to deny this impulse, as once it is ingested, certain effects will occur as follows. First 5 minutes, inflammation of the throat. 10 minutes, gastritis. 12 minutes, extreme erythroderma. 20 minutes and so on, dyspnea and eventual cardiac arrest. Note that upon death, one of the workers will come out from the counter and drag the corpse into a back room. Inspections have shown that the clerk and the body will immediately vanish upon entrance, although where to is unknown. The safest option are neutral pastries, desserts in which the wanderer has no opinion for. Because an explorer does not like nor dislike them, they will feel no urge to eat it, nor will there be any positive or negative effects upon consumption. As such, it is considered safest to eat when the only goal of consumption is simply for replenishing hunger. However, because of the intensified sense of desire caused by the atmosphere of the level alone, such pastries will be very rare. Least favorite and hated pastries are evidently also one of the safer options. Nonetheless, it should be noted that the effects caused by the pastry will lead to the wanderer believing that the smell, look, and taste of the dessert is far worse than it seems. Some have reported to have the smell and taste of rotten flesh. It will take a strong sense of will to overcome these thoughts and eat the pastry. As such, consumption will lead to transport to other, safer levels, as well as a few medical effects. 1 minute, transport to level 11, level 31, level 57, or level 98. 5 minutes, moderate diarrhea and mild vertigo. 10 minutes, projectile vomiting plus other mild flu-like symptoms. It is important to remember that although the medical effects are painful, most explorers recover fully within 2 to 3 days. But because of the transportation advantages, which never fails to trigger, wanderers should keep a few in case of emergency. That being said, one must realize that after the consumption of a certain pastry of the type will no longer be deemed as hated or disliked, as it will now be deemed desirable, therefore losing its effects and moving to a different pastry. Be sure to keep a wide variety to get past this. Expired and allergy-triggering pastries. Beware, as it is easy to mistake these pastries for the least favorite and hated pastries. Any attempts to consume these types will only lead to worse cases of stomach flu, food poisoning, vomiting, to the point of bleeding, extreme diarrhea, and worst-case scenario, death. Consumption will not lead to different levels, nor will it replenish hunger or health. It is crucial to be informed of one's medical conditions and to examine each dessert before eating one. Bases, outposts, and communities. There are no bases nor outposts, although there are what most wanderers refer to as the regulars. All seem to be from different decades, and none seem to have the desire to group. Jelly and Cocoa are two fairly close friends, seemingly coming from the late 1930s to early 1940s. Both are extremely secretive, but the shorter one seems to be more willing to lead one out of the level. It's important not to provoke them, as both are incredibly skilled in combat. The duo bears a fox and masquerade mask around their wrists, although it is not confirmed whether these are wall masks. The childhood friends are a couple of women, one possibly in her late 20s, and one in her mid-50s, can be found in the far back of the bakery, both coming from the 80s. These women, when approached, will attempt to help as much as possible, giving out supplies, and, if in extreme luck, used sacks, and answering as many questions as they can answer. Be cautious, though, as the younger one talks much of magic that could get wanderers out. Such rumors are not confirmed. Entrances. Following the scent of baked bread in level 11 will eventually lead to the entrance of level 67. Occasionally, one may find the entrance to Αρτοποιείο desire when walking around level 122. Taking a food item from outside of level 226 and consuming it after dipping it into one of the pasta dishes will lead one directly inside of the bakery. Exits. Consuming one of the least favorite or hated pastries may lead to level 11, level 31, level 57, or level 98. Directly leaving the store will either lead back to level 11 or level 122. When asking Jelly for an exit, she will lead one to a backroom, which will send them off to level 98. Finding a book titled Origins on a table and walking out of the entrance with it will lead to the outside of level 153.